Warning: due to the highly polarizing nature of this presentation, it may be considered disturbing and extremely offensive to feminists, pickup artists, social justice warriors, and women haters.
Hi, I'm Lawrence Lanoff, and right here, right now, I'm going to let you in on a blistering secret about female lust. Man-hating feminists and sleazy pickup artists are terrified you'll find out. A secret which will give you the power to make even the nicest, most conservative, and most innocent girl come like a freight train on command, and without even touching her. It literally doesn't matter how repulsive to women you are, how much money you make, or even how often you take a bath. If you just listen to what I have to say, like a growing army of guys have already, you'll be spreading feminine thighs on command. In fact, if you're a guy between 20 and 73 and you aren't sleeping with at least 3 different women a week, you're not just letting yourself down. You're disappointing every one of your male ancestors for thousands of years who would kill to have the sexual opportunity you've just had dropped in your lap. Who the hell am I to make such huge promises and such crazy claims? Like I said, my name is Lawrence Lanoff. I'm 50 years old, skinny, bald, and I've got a completely average cock. And in order to tell you how you're going to open the door to abundant, incredible sex with a ton of eager women, I have to tell you about the most humiliating moment of my entire life. And how the feminists winning the battle of the sexes is the best damn thing to happen to your cock since you first learned to masturbate. Warning, if you've ever been rejected by a girl, what I'm about to tell you may trigger feelings of embarrassment and rage in you. But whatever you do, it's incredibly important you don't stop watching until you hear the whole story. "Get away from me, you creep," she screamed in disgust. Suddenly, I felt my testicles crawl back up into my body, and a flood of nausea and panic pulsed through me as every head in Trader Joe's whipped in our direction. She was hot, gorgeous actually. A 28-year-old brunette in tight yoga pants with the most beautiful pair of gravity-defying all-natural D-cup tits I've ever seen. 5 minutes ago, I'd seen her giving the broccoli a hard-on in the vegetable department. And when she walked away, I caught the scent of her and felt something hungry rise up in me as I imagined her naked and writhing and moaning my name. I knew I had to talk to her before she left the store, and it was too late, or I'd regret it for the rest of my sexual life. She was in the bread aisle when I found her again, bent over at the waist so I could get lost in her ass and thighs and delicious toned calves. Her hands were caressing a loaf of gluten-free BS whatever in a way that made my heart pound and my mouth go dry. I took a deep breath, gathered my confidence, walked up to her, smiling and friendly, and with no hint at all at the pornography she'd inspired in my mind. Suddenly, her eyes flashed to mine like a deer in the woods. She parted her wet lips. I watched her incredible breasts rise and fall as she took a long, deep breath of her own, and that's when she screamed and destroyed my world. I could only appreciate the incredible favor she'd done me months later. My neck spasmed. My jaw went tight like a bear trap. I was just going to tell her how beautiful she looked. How it was women like her who made me so happy to be a man, so happy to be alive when... "I said get the hell away from me," she screamed, even louder this time, like a heavy metal guitar solo blasting in my ear. And that's when I noticed the pack of scantily clad sorority girls staring at me like I was some kind of monster. The steroid-upped musclehead in the shredded tank top flexing his pecs like he couldn't wait to prove his masculinity and kick my ass. The fat security guard fingering his radio like it was Dirty Harry's revolver and reporting an assault for who knows who to hear. And then I almost cried as I felt the handcuffs snap closed around my wrists. Strong hands dragged me by the arm like some 12-year-old boy caught throwing rocks at recess. I had hours to kill before things got sorted out. Hours to think. To torture myself for being so stupid as to walk up to a pretty girl in public in emasculated America. To feel ashamed. To make a decision that would change everything, not just for me, but for thousands of guys around the world just like you. I was so angry. Not at her, not even at our PC society that treats men like dogs just for being guys, but at myself. There I was, a fully grown man who loves women, who would rather kill myself than ever hurt a woman, and in 3 terrible seconds, the girl in the yoga pants made me feel like a rapist. When they released me, no charges after they saw the security tape, I went home and stared at myself in the mirror. And I saw what I always saw. A nice guy. A good guy. So why did she scream when I just wanted to say hello? Why was it so wrong for me to want to talk to her? To want to make love to her? Why did I suddenly feel so disgusting? Laying in bed that night, I spent hours not sleeping, rubbing my wrists where the handcuffs had dug into them, tasting bile in my throat when I thought about what had happened, not just to me, but to men everywhere. I thought about the never-ending torrent of news stories about creepy guys who dared to look at a woman with lust. Militant feminists celebrating the death of men. How more and more guys are flunking out of college. How all the powerful jobs are going to women. How having a dick is becoming a societal handicap. I thought about guys in Japan and around the world giving up, deciding they'd rather be celibate for life than become the emasculated lapdogs the world is trying to turn them into. And then I thought of all the women I knew. Women who are lonely and horny and scared. Women who wake up every morning wondering why they can't find real men anymore. Who settle for metrosexual shadows of masculinity, while us real guys are treated like dogs. Laying there, I realized something shocking and terrible, and wonderful too. I realized the feminist nightmare had come true, and that men and women had been brainwashed into sexual misery. And I knew I was at a crossroads when it came to me and women and sex.